Hi, everyone. It's Tammy from Aortic Hope. I'm happy to be here with you, starting that week out right. Before we get started, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share anything that we do with Aortic Hope, whether it's on this platform or Facebook, Instagram, any of those. We really appreciate you being an ambassador for us and helping to get the word out, because when this first happens to somebody, when they first get this diagnosis, you don't know where to go. And we want to make it as easy as possible for people to find us. So let's start out with Movement Monday. So Movement Monday, I went to the gym today. I did my yoga. I came home and had a healthy lunch. So we were just talking about it, but it's movement for movement. Today is on Mondays is movement for Movement Monday. Sometimes it's Medical Monday. We're going to do Movement Monday. Exercising in cold weather can be beneficial for your health, but it also poses some risk, especially if you have aortic disease. Aortic disease is a condition that affects the aorta, the main blood vessel that carries oxygen-rich blood from the heart to the rest of your body. Aortic disease can cause the aorta to weaken, bulge, or tear, which can lead to the threatening complications. According to the American Heart Association, people with coronary heart disease can often suffer angina pectoris, which is chest pain or discomfort, when they're in cold weather. Cold temperatures, high winds, snow, and rain can also steal body heat and increase the risk of hypothermia. Hypothermia means the body temperature has fallen below 35 degrees Celsius or about 95 degrees Fahrenheit. It can cause lack of coordination, mental confusion, slowed reactions, shivering, and sleepiness, and it can also kill you. If you have aortic disease and want to exercise in cold weather, you should consult with your doctor and follow some tips. Here are some suggestions. Dress in layers of clothing that keep you warm and dry, and avoid cotton as it can trap moisture and make you feel colder. Wear hat, gloves, and warm socks to protect your extremities. There's so many options out there now to choose from. It used to be like places like only Under Armour carried the wicking clothing, but you can find, I know I buy most of mine at Columbia now, but you can find those for any kind of weather, hot or cold. So take a look at those. Then they do make a difference. Stay hydrated by drinking water before and after your workout. Dehydration can impair your body's ability to regulate your temperature. I was really, really surprised. I went to my doctor's a couple weeks ago, and they had this machine that I stood on, and I held something. And one of the things that it reported on was dehydration. I don't go anywhere without my water. And so, just like in blood test, it gives you like this green section and then the red section, and you want to be in the green section. I was like right at the red and the green for the lowest hydration. And I couldn't believe it, because I drink water all day long. I get up like 2 times a night to go to the bathroom. So I actually have started tracking my water on MyFitnessPal. It's real easy to do. Every time you finish 8 ounces, 12 ounces, or whatever, you just hit the button. But I've been really surprised. You really do have to work to get that hydration in. The next is to choose low impact activities that don't put too much strain on your heart and blood vessels. For example, brisk walking, hiking, raking leaves, or shoveling snow, which most of us probably should not be doing. With frequent breaks, may be suitable options. Avoid sudden exertions or activities that involve holding your breath or lifting heavy objects. I will say, walking outside when it's cold, I really noticed that I do work harder. So your heart is working harder when it's really cold, even walking outside. Warm up properly before going on your exercises, starting your exercise, and cool down gradually afterwards. This can help prevent injuries and reduce the stress on your heart. Monitor your symptoms and listen to your body. If you experience chest pain, shortness of breath, dizziness, nausea, or any of the other signs of distress, stop exercising and seek medical attention. And this is where I would say it's a really, really good idea to keep some notes. What are you seeing patterns that you can report to your doctor, or if you're lucky enough to have access to a trainer, that you can report to them, because it makes a huge difference when you can see a pattern of what's happening. I know for myself, I can do a 45-minute high intensity like cardio exercise, like something like Zumba. I can't do an hour. So I can only pick those classes that are like 45 minutes. Once I get into the 45 minutes, I start getting dizzy, which makes me get scared. Then I get upset in my stomach, and then I quit. So I played with it, and I've found out that working at an even intensity for about 45 minutes works for me. So find what works for you. And exercising in cold weather with aortic disease can be challenging, but not impossible. With proper planning and precautions, you can enjoy the benefits of physical activity while minimizing the risk. There are so many different types of exercises out there right now that I really would encourage you, even in the wintertime, to find ways to exercise, some way of moving. I recently discovered, and this is apparently all across the United States, I don't know if they have it for guys, but there's a group called Girls Who Walk. And I know I was looking into it, and they're all across the United States, and some of them walk for 2 miles. Some of them get together and walk 4 to 6 miles. I know the group in my area does 4 to 6 miles, but there's a group that, as part of that group, when they start off, once they get to like 2 miles out, they'll turn around, or they get to 1 mile out and they'll turn around. So you can turn around at whatever point you want. You just track it. And in my area, they walk on Tuesdays and Thursdays, unless it's horrible weather out. No matter how cold it is, they've still been going, even if we've had like some drizzly rain. If you want an inside activity, check out. I've been going to gyms since I was in my 20s. I've always had a gym membership, and I will say, over time, my needs in the gym have changed, especially with aortic disease. The one that I'm finding that I like the best right now is the YMCA. I've had really, really good luck with their classes. They offer a lot of chair classes. They offer a lot of classes that are less, it'll be like the same class, but less intense. Almost every YMCA has a pool, and they have a wonderful range of options for pool, whether you just want to go in and they do like walking in the water, or you can do like a whole aerobic workout in the water. So like, don't just assume that because you did it in the past and it's hard now, that you can't change your workout routine or the way that you move. Just get out there and try stuff. There's plenty of classes that I went to that I didn't go to again. The other thing that I like with the YMCA, and I'm not endorsing them at all, is just one of the things that I've found. The YMCA does have, when you become a member, they have so many classes online that they have videotaped. I think it happened during COVID, and they've continued it. So if I don't have a window of time to be able to go to the gym, if I have a doctor's appointment or whatever, I'll just put something on my TV, even if I don't get to finish it. The other one of my favorite ones right now is, and it's free, it's on YouTube. It's called Walk Away the Pounds. And it literally, it sounds like it would be so boring, but literally it's just walking in place, and then they'll do like a little cha-cha, or they'll add some arms, or they'll go doing like a sideways chain, and it's not as boring as it sounds. So check out one of those for getting yourself moving.
Oh
Let's
no,
go.
that's really good work.
What?
I want to say hi to some people. Molly
Oh, okay,
Thomas has
yay.
jumped in. Christina
Who?
Kohler jumped in.
Tell me the first name again.
Molly.
Oh, hi, Molly. I couldn't hear the first name. I was talking over you. I'm sorry.
That's
Hi,
okay.
Molly. And the next one's Christina.
And Christina Kohler, yeah. She's one of, I love, both of these ladies are always, they join us. And I wish Velda was here. Normally Velda would be like, hi.
Oh, I
Yeah.
have a Christina story. So I haven't met Christina in person, but in January, in the beginning of the month, when I put all the Hope mail in the mail, for some reason, I saw her on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, hey, Christina, be on the lookout for your Hope mail. I just put it in the mail today." Now, what are the chances that the person I said, "I just put your Hope mail in the mail today," like, I don't know, it was like 3 or 4 days later, I opened my trunk and there's her Hope mail. It had fallen out of the bag that I took to the post office. And I was like, okay, like serendipity, though, like the one person that I happened to say your Hope mail is in the mail is not in the mail. So then I
Whoops.
had to send her an email, like apologizing and saying it's in the mail now. And she said she got it like right around her birthday, also. So,
Oh,
so
that
yay,
works.
Christina.
I
So
love that you brought up the walking thing, but it's always funny because like and there's a part of me that completely understands it. The exclusionary women walking thing, right? I get it, right? You know why guys don't do this? We love
no, you
women.
don't have anything to talk
No,
about
no,
to each other.
we love women, so we want them to come walking with us. We're not going to be like men only walking. You know what I mean?
Well, what I love about walking with women is nobody, everybody, there's always somebody talking. So, like, if I was walking by myself, I get insanely bored.
Oh yeah,
But when you walk with just one other person, you always like, even if you're telling the same stories that person has heard, it's like it just makes the time go by so much faster because you're talking to somebody. So yeah, well,
yeah.
I don't know. I agree. I haven't seen any guys going for maybe guys going golfing. I don't
Like
know, but guys walking, I haven't seen that.
yeah, I'm pretty sure we stopped the no girls allowed thing when we were
So, well, I
children.
know Molly walks a lot. And what about Christina? Christina, do you walk in your neighborhood or with some friends?
Let's we'll get
See
to them if
see
they
what she says.
chime
Okay,
in.
I'm going
Yeah.
to click to caregiver. Oh boy, this one, caregiver is so hard for me because I almost always tear up when I think it literally took me, I'm coming up on my 5th year. I will say it's just been in my last year that I can talk about my caregivers and not tear up because I don't know what I would have done. And I always knew my family would step up. I just never knew at what level I was going to have to expect them to step up. And my sister was, I mean, I'll have to talk about my husband soon, but my sister was the one that really surprised me as far as her ability to read what I needed before I even knew what I needed. Um, so as far as Caregivers Appreciation Day, this is something that we started a while ago, and we picked January 23rd. And the reason we did that was because um, caregivers make caregiving look as easy as 1, 2, 3. And caregivers are the most unsung heroes of our society. They're the ones who provide physical, emotional, and practical support to those who need it, most often at the expense of their own well-being. And I believe that is so true. They may be family members, friends, neighbors, or professionals who dedicate their time and energy to caring for others. Caregivers deserve our gratitude and recognition for the valuable work they do. However, many caregivers feel isolated, overwhelmed, and underappreciated. They might not have the time or resources to take care of themselves, or they may feel guilty for asking for help. They may also face challenges such as stress, burnout, depression, and anxiety. And they usually do all of this while they're still working or caring for a family. Caregivers are amazing people who make a difference in the lives of others. They deserve our appreciation and respect, not only on special occasions, but every day. By showing appreciation to the caregivers in your life, they can help we can help them feel valued, supported, and happy. You can also help them continue to provide the best care possible and to enjoy the rewarding aspects of caregiving. So like I said, my main caregivers were my mom, my sister, and my husband, and then I have 2 daughters and their husbands. I tried to protect my daughters a lot. I didn't want them to know what I was going through. So although they helped, I didn't I didn't ask them to like drive me to like take off work to take me to doctor's appointments or everything. I would say they were more my inspiration through everything. And then my mom became my secretary, my chauffeur, my schedule keeper. And then my husband, I think my husband, he learned so much about himself and like what we needed as a couple. I remember one story, we were getting ready for a CT scan. In those days, 4 or 5 years ago, the CT scans just scare you so bad. You just start imagining everything. And so I was like a week out and already upset and worried and sure the world was going to end when I had the CT scan. And we were in the car and I said something about, I was so scared or something about that's coming up. And poor guy, he made this offhanded, just general statement of, you're going to be fine. Well, I flew into him. I made him stop the car. We were still in our neighborhood. I made him stop the car. I got out of the car. I walked home. You don't understand. You don't have a clue what this is like. And I said, I realized that I was equating, and I think I've told this story before. I was equating to me when he got back to the house. And I said to him, you're never afraid. You're never afraid. And he looked at me and he said, if I'm afraid, what's going to happen to us? Like, and I realized he didn't have a choice. Like, I get to be like all crazy and, oh, this is a great day. And, oh, tomorrow I'm so scared. He was trying to keep everything even between, my girls, my mother, my sister, me. He had all these people who were always up and down and crazy. And he looked at me and said, if I'm afraid, and I was like, oh my God, like I felt terrible. So, and it's true. If he fell apart, I don't know what I would have done. So after that, he really changed about how he responded to my fear. He acknowledged my fear. Or he could recognize it before I even said anything, and he would say the right things. So he would be more of a comfort well, he was trying to comfort me when he said, you're going to be fine, but he really weighs his words much, much more now. And I really appreciate it. And that's part of caregiving. That really is a part of caregiving. So we've learned a lot, but I can understand how people could go in opposite directions in their relationships with this, because if your partner isn't giving you what you need and you can't express what you need, that doesn't work. So happy
And that was
Caregivers
your
Appreciation
husband?
Day.
That was your husband?
Yeah, that was my husband. I've put him through a lot, but he has stuck by me. Right now, I have the funniest thing happening with him. You guys, he's a police officer, so he's like very stoic, and he never gets upset. He's very even. I've been able to scare him. Like he'll be walking away from me down the hall, and I'll just yell, "Hey!" and he like jumps, or he's just sitting in his chair, and I'll yell, "Hey!"
Oh.
And I have been able to scare him in the last month, like at least once a day. And he has been so mad about it. He hasn't been able to scare me. And I know that when he does, I'm going to be in so much trouble. I know he's planning something. So I'm like always, I like look around every corner. I open every door very slowly. So I don't know what he's planning, but I'm sure paybacks are going to be hell for me.
Hold on. Don't click yet. Don't click yet. So Christina says that she's walking right now on the treadmill. She says
Yay, Christina.
it's so boring, so she puts it on the highest settings, and she calls it enough in 30 minutes.
Good strategy.
Right? Velda jumped into the chat. Hi, Velda.
Hey, Zelda. Hey, Velda.
Okay, so Christina says, my husband and daughter do not know how to cope with me.
Yeah. Most don't you guys wonder what your family says about you when you're not around? Like, wouldn't you love to hear the conversations about like, oh, mom's been pretty good right now, or mom has just lost it this week, I would love to hear. I haven't overheard any conversations, but sometimes I can tell when I'm with my family and there has been a conversation because of things that they say to me. So God bless them.
Yeah. So you're the scare
Okay.
thing, right? The scare thing.
Yeah, it is.
One of the things that I follow on Instagram is like this. He's also a cop, right? So what he does is he sets up like this little. He's got like a pull popper thing that sprays out confetti, and he also has this little gun, and he sets up like balloons full of like white paint, and he just
Oh,
waits for his wife to walk into a room, shoots the balloon, it splashes down on her, and then he uses the popper thing and shoots her with confetti, and then he ropes in his daughter. Right? So they go back and forth. They go back and forth with these scare tactics. It's hilarious.
yeah, but do they have to clean that up?
I'm sure that they enjoy that part too. But so he's got like cameras in every room of the house, right? So, that's what he's using to capture these things.
Well, we have cameras all around the outside of the house. I have not allowed cameras in the house yet. I'm
Smart.
like, no. I mean, I can see somebody coming from a mile away. I can see spiders on my front porch. Anything that moves, we know about it.
Right.
But okay, next one. It's Think Aorta Thursday. So, with the Think Aorta, Think Family campaign initiative, it's the whole idea of um, aortic disease is genetic, it runs in families. So, we really want to get those stories out about families. So, Robert shared his story. It's a great one. You definitely want to read that one. But we're looking for even more. And if you want to help be part of this campaign, please, there's a form that you can fill out. I don't care if you're a family of, just you and your sister, just you and your mom, or a family of 20. We want to hear your story and, have what happened when your family was tested. Did you have an easy time getting tested? Did you have an easy time getting the results? How often have you been told to test? Those kinds of things. How did your family take the news if you did find something genetic? I know with my breast cancer, that was the first time I had genetic testing. So I have something called BRIP1, and I have big Italian family, so all my cousins went and got tested. One cousin came back positive, and one of my daughters came back positive. And it was hard. It's hard to hear that you passed that on to a daughter. And my one cousin, she actually had a hysterectomy. She's a teacher, so she had a hysterectomy in between her summers. But yeah, that was another layer of things to deal with. And so we want to share your story. So please fill out that form. We always say, be a shining light for others. Share what you've learned, share what you've gone through. I know when I first dissected and I kind of got my feet back under me, I wanted to read everybody's story. I wanted to know everything. I want to know, did the same thing happen to everybody else, or did something different happen? What doctors were they involved with? What medicine were they taking? So this is what this campaign is about, spreading the information.
And
Okay.
one quick thing about this. So as we collect those stories, the Think Aorta, Think Family, it's not about what the results are. Okay?
Right. But
It's about getting your family tested, regardless
yeah,
of the outcome, because we hear the words ignorance is bliss, but for everybody in this community who has had an emergency surgery, anybody who's had both of them, to know the difference between an emergency surgery and a planned surgery, knows how like different that recovery time is, the preparation time, having your doctors well rested, planned, organized surgery versus a life-saving situation and then a repair.
yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
ignorance is bliss isn't exactly the situation we're looking for if you have undiagnosed aortic disease.
And it does make a difference. It's very, very important. So Okay, Feel Good Friday, Aortiversary Club. So the Aortiversary Club is different than the Hope Mail. But so with Hope Mail, you get a gift in the mail during your Aortiversary month. But with Aortiversary Club, you actually sign up to help us celebrate. So happy Aortiversary to everybody. We love celebrating you every month during the year. And we're so proud of you, and we want to publicize your accomplishments. You are a survivor, and you should be celebrated. We'd like to acknowledge everyone each month. So go to your Facebook page and click on albums. Once you get there, you would select the picture of your Aortiversary month. So January, February, click on that, and then fill out the information, the name and date of your event and your diagnosis. So we can celebrate you that month on our social platforms. Usually, I think it's only on the Aortic Hope. I don't know if it's the private page or the main page of Facebook, but this is a fun way to celebrate and see how many people are in our community. You start recognizing names in communities. It's even fun to I know I saw somebody the other day and he was talking about having surgery at Johns Hopkins. So I like clicked on his profile and I'm like, okay, how far away is he? Because Johns Hopkins is not too far from me. And so sometime when we get together with the people kind of like in a tri-state area, we can make sure that we invite him. Okay.
Very cool.
Oh,
That's got to be on the private forums, I think.
yeah. Why can't all of a sudden I've lost? Okay, there it is. And along those lines, the Survivor series on Saturdays, if you've been with us very long, you know that on a lot of Saturdays, we post our Survivor stories. The community wants to hear from you. On certain Saturdays during the month, we will share stories from survivors or caregivers within the aortic community. Be a shining star in someone's life by submitting your story of survival or caring for someone with aortic disease. We really want to know about the symptoms that are experienced and the process of diagnosis. We will be sharing your videos or blog with Think Aorta US and use it as a tool to show emergency room physicians and first responders why it's so important to think about the aorta. If you're interested in sharing your story, there's a form that you can click. It's right there. So go to our blog and you can find that form. The Aortic Hope Survivors video and blog series form allows Aortic Hope to collect basic information for the Survivor Series video and blog participants. This information will not be shared with anyone except the Aortic Hope administrative members. Videos and blogs submitted to the Aortic Hope are used solely for the purpose of sharing with others. No monetary payment will be made, but you'll be doing a huge service to the people in the community. And Josh is the one who will be reaching out to you if you do fill out that form.
If they choose video, I definitely reach out to them. And I want to urge people to understand this. We're starting to see the callbacks of, so and so said something that really registered with me, and that's why I'm happy to share my story. When we say be the shining star in somebody else's journey, that's exactly what we're talking about. That exact thing. And no two dissections are the same. So
No.
you may say something that will help somebody else want to share their story.
And with so many other things in life, what I have found is being able to tell your story in a nice, concise way really helps you move through the process. It really helps you to look at the sequence of what happened to you, how you move through it. And when you voice it, whether in writing or through the video chat with Josh, it really is part of the healing process. It was very cathartic for me to do that.
It's great. So Christina's got some stuff here. She says, we were talking about how the caregivers are kind of experiencing things. She says, I think they're just scared. So I don't think I'll be ordering a t-shirt anytime soon. They never said anything negative, but their world changed too after my near-death experience and a few other ER visits, right? And so on her aortiversary, she says, Not a word was said that I made it 10 years. They both just placed a heart on my post. Happy 10th anniversary to me.
I think it is hard. I I think my girls are probably the ones that have, as far as my immediate family, I think my girls are the hardest ones to know, as far as being able to voice anything to me, because they were just so scared. They're right in the prime of time of their life when um they recognize the need for their mom. They're in the middle of having babies. They're in, the beginning of their careers. They had just moved into new homes. They had not been married for very long. Um, and here's this life-changing event in their mom's life, this person who was, their rock in their life. And so that makes perfect sense to me. Perfect sense. So uh and the last thing, oh, I'm so excited about this. I've been asking for this. Aortic Hope car decal. Not the magnetic. Nothing is magnetic on my car anymore. So uh I wanted one of those clings that you could peel off. It's not sticky on the back, but the cling that you can put on your back window. Take to your doctors. They can put it on their little window, those kinds of things. So we have the clings, the decals are here, and so exciting, that help bring awareness to aortic hope and aortic disease in general. So it's just a $5 donation that helps cover us for the cost of the decal and then the cost to mail it to you. It's a 2x6, and we worked really hard on what, the colors to use and everything with this, the size. So please go order one now. Order one for yourself, for your to take to your vascular surgeon, your cardiologist, anybody, family members, would be wonderful. And then as far as February goes, we usually try to go back here and talk about what's coming up in February. I don't think the February calendar is out yet, but there's always good stuff coming up. I know that in March, for anybody that lives in the tri-state area, like the Delmarva, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia area, there's going to be an
I'm
aortic hope
wrong. I'm wrong.
fundraiser.
Click the events link. She updated it. She must have did it.
Oh, okay.
She must have did it while she's down there at this event in Houston.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
Karen's at one of our conventions. We have Karen and Jenny from the board from Aortic Hope, and then Tim from the board of Think Aorta. They are all in San Antonio, Texas right now at one of the conventions, spreading the information, telling everybody, all the doctors, all about our new patient guide. And that patient guide is also going to be coming out in Spanish soon. And we have some more things in the works with that. So tell us what's on the only one I know coming up, Josh, is the bingo in March. What's happening in February?
Okay, so right away tomorrow, we have a live Q&A with Doherty Cella Keene and Associates Navigating Disability. That's tomorrow at 7:00.
If you have not applied for disability, if you're wondering if it's for you, if you're wondering about the process, these are the people that you want to listen to. That's who I went through when people were saying apply for disability, and I'm like, I can't get disability. That's when, like, you can't get out of bed, like, but I was like, well, no, I guess I'm not going back to work. I don't even know what 2 + 2 is anymore at that point in my life. And I realized, and I would have, my reasoning for doing it was, I was in between jobs. I was diagnosed with my breast cancer 9 days after I quit my job to start a new job in a couple of weeks. Didn't start that new job because I got the breast cancer and all the stuff that comes with that, and then the aortic dissection in December. So here I was not working, so I wasn't bringing any of the income in that my husband expected, that I was going to be doing. But on top of that, I had all these bills that we weren't expecting. Like, when I was in heart failure, the Entresto bill was $900 a month. That pill was $900 a month. So I turned to the people, say their name again, Josh.
Uh,
Daughtry.
yeah, Doherty, Cella, Keenan Associates.
Yes. So I watched some of their videos. Then I was put in touch with a person. The person I talked to is the person that stayed with me the entire time. They walked me through everything, and they were there when I did an online court hearing with a judge. They were with me online, and everything went through the first time.
Oh, that's great to hear.
So yeah, so I had a very good experience with them. And I'm not saying that you have to go with them, but if you want somebody that understands aortic disease and the limitations and what needs to be said to the judge, because when you go before the judge, there's also a vocational person there. And that vocational person will say to the judge, will tell the judge, based on all the information that's just been presented, what jobs you can do. So in my case, they said, oh, well, she could answer phone calls at a daycare center because I have all this background in child development, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that sounds wonderful. But the lawyer that was representing me from this group said to the judge and the vocational person, okay, that's fine. And she could probably do that. However, we need you to find somebody, to the vocational person, that she can have about 7 days a month off for her doctor's appointments and therapies. Can you find somebody that will hire her and allow her to have that much time off? And they said no. I know for Karen, they said she could count potato chip bags that went down an assembly line or something. I don't know.
Wow.
But it's funny what I think the vocational person has to come up with something to say, well, they could do this, unless it's a blatant that, you're bedridden or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I had a very good experience with them, and I haven't talked to anybody in the community that was sorry that they used them.
Wonderful. That's great news to hear. And it worked first try. So we love to hear that.
Yes,
So looking at February, right away, the Qigong with Kevin
yes.
Songer. That's still going every Thursdays.
There's your
That's
movement.
yeah, that's some movement. We love that. We also are bringing back Aortic Kitchen. That'll be on the first and third Wednesdays with Chef Rob
And
and
they already
Mindy.
have some recipes up. I've already printed some of their recipes.
Right on. And of course, our support group. So Wednesday, the 31st, 7 p.m. is our support group meeting for the evening sessions. Then these are 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's this Wednesday. And you mentioned bingo. Bingo is the 13th, Tuesday the 13th at 8 p.m. February.
Oh, it is in February.
Yep.
Well, I
Yep.
had March in my head.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know how you did that.
Okay,
We
I
are
better.
looking forward to having Dr. Udelman come in on the 20th at 6 p.m. Now,
He's the best.
I know we love him. We now keep in mind he's a surgeon, so we schedule him, and it has happened in the past where he's gotten the bat signal and he has had to cancel last second. So we pencil him in. We don't carve that in stone.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and I love that we're stepping things up. And I was telling Karen, I think it was just last week, we got to stop letting Rob go on 9-month vacations. That's God. We got to rein that back in. I
Yeah, I think
love these.
we all followed him on Facebook where he was, him
Yeah,
and his
yeah.
wife.
I love his cooking stuff. It's great, and they're so funny together. They get to bickering and whatnot, and it's like you said, you want to be a fly on the wall.
Like a
It's
little, yeah, like a
yeah,
little telescope into their life. Yeah,
it's good stuff. So
that's fun.
caregiver meetings again. Those are on the first and third Saturdays at 10 a.m. So we'll be seeing our caregiver only meetings Saturday the 3rd at 10 a.m. and again on, is it over here? The 17th at 10 a.m.
And you're still doing the aorta hangouts, right? On
Oh, every
Thursdays at 3.
Thursday. Yeah,
Every
every
Thursday at
Thursday.
3.
This is okay. So for me personally, I literally play video games while hanging out with this group, and it's like right in the it's at the end of the week kind of for me, you know. And if it goes 3 hours, I indulge the whole time, the whole time. We have had talks that have gone to like 5:30, 6:30, 8:30, and people will just come in, hang out for a few minutes, and then they'll have something come up and they'll leave, and then they'll come back, which
Come
is
back.
great. Yeah, which is great. We love that. We have people like Molly. She'll take us to the beach, and then she'll just go on a hike, and she'll like use her camera, and we'll just kind of see what's going on out there.
Wow.
We've had Dean. We have so many talented people in this community, and Dean is one of those guys who has been writing poetry his whole life. And so, when you read a poem, there's, it's probably beautiful and all of that jazz. But then when you have the poet actually read you the poem and you know how the poem is supposed to be delivered, it's so much more powerful. And he goes
Wow.
for it. We love it when he does that. Also, the dirty jokes. We always ask people to bring dirty jokes. Okay. And when it comes to the Aorta Hangout, this is a place for community building so that we can just kind of get to know each other. And when it comes to the medical side of things, it's like no news or good news. That's it. Yeah.
Good. Oh, that sounds like fun. I keep writing it on my calendar, and for some reason, Thursdays I'm always somewhere. I know this Thursday. This Thursday it's at 1 o'clock, so maybe I'll be back by 3. So maybe
And
I'll
you can
try to
just
jump
jump in
on.
later. It could be as late as you need. We might be
Okay.
there as some people will just start cooking and they'll set their camera up and we'll just watch them cook. Yeah, we'll be
Well,
chit-chatting the whole time.
that's kind of how movement for Monday movement or whatever it's called started. And we would just all get together, and you were on your phone and hold your phone in your hand, and we were like walking around our house. It was during COVID,
Oh,
and we would like walk in our house, or like I remember one time, I live in a neighborhood, and some of the families in my neighborhood decided that they would put bears in the window so families could go on bear hunts. So I would like walk through the neighborhood and say, I found a bear,
wow.
and whenever you could find a bear in the windows, like way up there, or the families would move them from time to time to different windows in their house, and we would see how many bears we could find on my walk. But yeah, that's kind of like what we did, movement from Monday movement. I don't know, what is it called?
Movement for
Move,
movement.
movement for
For
movement. I
for
thought there
you
was.
somehow it is a tongue twister and it's hilarious.
I know. I thought Monday was in there somehow.
Well, we say
Movement
movement
on
for
Monday.
movement Monday.
Okay.
It's just at the end.
Maybe I couldn't have answered those phones at the daycare.
I
I
mean,
couldn't
yeah.
get the names right.
I think when Karen was sharing her story about it, she says her lawyer was like, "Well, I'll tell you what, she probably could do that, but where can we get a job where she gets to take naps every single day?"
Yes,
Right?
at that time. And at that time I was also taking a nap. We had put a temporary recliner in my bedroom. And I remember those were the best naps. And like around 3 o'clock every afternoon, I would get in that recliner, and I had a weighted blanket, and I'd pull that weighted blanket up, and the house would be quiet because whoever had been there today to take care of me was gone. And those were the best naps at 3 o'clock. And I did need them. And eventually we did get rid of that recliner in the bedroom. But
Because
yeah,
it's just gonna start collecting clothes.
they do, don't they? So, okay, everyone, it was fun. I don't think I'm on the schedule again for a couple more weeks, but I see you guys about once a month. And Christina, Velda, Molly, thank you for being here, friends.
Right on. All right. We will see everybody next week.
Bye.